Okay, fine. So let's start with the first numerical. A single stage impulse turbine has a diameter of 1.5 meter and running at 3000 rpm. The nozzle angle is 20 degrees and the speed ratio is 0.45. The ratio of relative velocity at the outlet to the inlet to that at the inlet is zero point 0.9. The outlet angle of the blade is 3 degrees less than the inlet angle. Steam flow rate is 6 kg per second. Draw the velocity diagram and find the following: velocity of the wheel, axial thrust, blade angles, and the power torque. Okay, let's try to write the what is given solution. So, what is the data that is given? So, they are given the diameter, that is it is 1.5 meter, speed is 3000 rpm, and they given the, see the flow angle, that is nozzle angle, that is alpha 1, which is 20 degrees, and they given the speed ratio, that is u by v1, which is 0.45, and they are given the friction factor, that is cb, what we have taken, that is vr2 by vr1, so it's equal to vr2 by vr1, which is 0.9, and they are telling that beta 2 is 3 degrees less than your beta 1. Okay, then they are given the mass flow rate, which is 6 kg per second. What we are supposed to find? We are supposed to find the first one, the vw1 and vw2, the velocity of the whirls. Then the second one is the axial force or axial thrust. The third one is the blade angles beta 1 and beta 2. I think if you're able to find one angle, the other one automatically will come. And the last one is the power torque. So these are the four things which we are supposed to find actually. Now let us try to draw the velocity triangle first. The first thing is, if you want to draw the velocity triangle, let's go with the combined velocity triangle. Okay, the combined velocity triangle, why we have to go with the combined velocity triangle? It's always, it's better. So when we go with the combined velocity triangle, we'll be able to, so we'll be able to see the both inlet as well as the outlet velocity triangles in a one particular structure. So before that, let's find the u actually. There are few parameters which we need. See, this problem can be solved using the trigonometric principles or using graphical method. So both will try to do it for this particular problem. Okay, what is u? U is given by pi d n by 60. Let's try to substitute pi into 1.5 into 3000. Please open your calculators and tell me the numbers. If I am right, so it will be 235.6 meters per second. Okay, now we need to find V1. How we can find V1? We know that phi is equal to U by V1, which is 0.45. Therefore, V1 is equal to U by 5. So U just now we found it is 235.6 divided by 0.45. Therefore, V1 I'm getting around 523.8 meters per second. You can round it off to 524. Okay, now let us draw the velocity triangle. This is a combined velocity triangle. So let's have the U first. This is my U. Then I'll be drawing my V1. This is my V1 at an angle of alpha 1. Then you have to close it with your VR1. Okay, this is my VR1. Okay, then I have the components of your VW1 and your VF1. Okay, this is my VF1 and this will be my VW1 in this direction. I got my inlet velocity triangle and this is my beta 1. Now, if I want to draw the outlet velocity triangle, So this is what we will draw it actually. Then from the trigonometry principle, we'll find each and everything. Then we'll go to, this is my beta 2, which is VR2. I'm not drawing to the scale. Okay. I'm not drawing to the scale. And approximate this thing. So this will be my V2. Then I have my VW2. And I have my VF2. This will be my alpha 2. I got all my triangles, this particular thing. From this I can find it. Okay, this is. Now let us try to solve this problem using trigonometric principles. Now, from the inlet velocity triangle, from the inlet velocity triangle, sine alpha 1, okay, sine alpha 1 is equal to, what is it actually? Opposite side, Vf1, okay, divided by V1. Sine alpha 1 is equal to Vf1 divided by V1. Or I can write Vf1 is equal to, okay, I can write Vf1 is equal to V1 sine alpha 1. V1 sine alpha 1. Okay. Now what is my V1? V1 is 523.8 into sine 20. So therefore, my Vf1, I am getting around 179 meters per second. Similarly, from the same inlet velocity triangle, I can find the, so let me go with cos alpha 1. What is cos alpha 1? Cos alpha 1 is equal to your VW1 divided by V1. Okay, VW1 divided by V1, or VW1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1, or is equal to V1 is equal to 523.8 into cos 20. I am getting my VW1 as roughly around 492 meters per second. So I got it actually. Now let's observe the velocity triangle. See, your VW1 is in this direction and your VW2 is in this direction. So what will be your work done actually? It should be VW1 minus of minus VW2. So this particular thing you should always consider. Now I know I want to find the angles, beta 1 and beta. I think if I find beta 1, beta 2 is 3 degrees less than that. So to find beta 1, let us take this. This I will take this as some x. You can take it as x or a, whatever it may be. What is this x? X is equal to VW1 minus u. Okay, that is 492 minus 235.6. That's what I will take. Now let us try to consider your angles. That is, what is your tan beta 1? From the same inlet velocity triangle, tan beta 1 is equal to, okay, your opposites are Vf1 divided by your adjacent, that is x. Okay, that is Vf1 divided by x, or that is Vf1 divided by Vw1 minus u. Let us try to substitute. So what is my Vf1? Just now we found it to be 179. So Vw1 is equal to 492 minus your u is, just now we found it is 235.6. 235.6. So take tan inverse of it. Okay. So therefore I'm going to get beta 1 is equal to tan inverse of 179 divided by 492 minus 235.6. So what is the value?
34.9, sir.
34.97. So roughly 35 degrees. You can round it up to 35 degrees. So what is beta 2? So they again the problem. Beta 2 is 3 degrees less than your beta 1. So therefore, beta 2 is equal to beta 1 minus 3 degrees, that is 35 minus 3, it is 32 degrees. I got both my blade angles. Okay. Now they have given CB is equal to what? See, I need to find VR1. Okay, I need to find VR1. What is my VR1? How to find the VR1? VR1, how to find my VR1 relative velocity?
Using beta 1.
Yes. Using either cos beta or sin beta, whatever you want, I can do that. You either use any of these things. Any of the things, I can find it. So sin beta 1, okay? Sin beta 1 is equal to, from the same inlet velocity triangles, sin beta 1 is equal to your VF1 divided by VR1, or I can write my VR1 is equal to VF1 divided by sin beta 1. So VF1, we have found it as 179 divided by sin. So beta 1 is 35 degrees. So if I substitute, I am getting roughly around 312 meters per second. Okay, now it is given in the problem, that is friction factor CB is equal to VR2 by VR1, or I can write VR2 is equal to CB times your VR1, that is 0.9 times of 312. So therefore your VR2 I am getting roughly around 281 meters per second. This is from your all your inlet velocity triangles. Now let us go for the outlet velocity triangle. From the outlet velocity triangle, let's come to this here. Let's check what is tan beta 2, sorry, cos beta 2. Cos beta 2 is equal to this quantity, that is, let me call this as some y. What is your y? Y is equal to VW2 plus u. So cos beta 2 is equal to y divided by your VR2. So I know VR2, I know u, I know beta 2, I can find VW2. Now similarly, I need to find VF2. How to find VF2? Take sin beta 2. Sin beta 2 is equal to VF2 divided by your VR2. So from that I can find, so VF2 will be equal to VR2 into sin beta. I can find VW2, I can find VF2. Is it fine? From the outlet velocity triangle, cos beta 2 is equal to your y divided by VR2, that is equal to VW2 plus u divided by VR2. So what is beta 2? It is 32 degrees. Cos 32 plus VW2, which is unknown, plus 235.6 divided by 281. So take VW2, 281 into cos 32 minus 235.6. If I do, I am going to get my VW2, which is roughly around 3.2 meters per second. Now similarly, from the same outlet triangle or exit triangle, what is sin beta 2? Sin beta 2 is equal to VF2 divided by VR2, or VF2 is equal to VR2 into sin beta 2. So VR2 is, just now we found it is 281. Okay, 281
Sir, I think
into
there is a difference in VW2 answers.
VW2. How much you are getting?
2.6.
2.6. Okay, roughly how much you are getting? I should say it is cos 32. No, 281 into 281. Let me check it. So did I made 381? I think I'll type error into cos 32 minus 235.6. Yeah, 2.7. Yes. You are right. You are right. I made, I think I did, I pressed, I think something around 281 or 381, something I might have pressed. Okay, 1 minute, let me check it. 281. So 2.7, yes. 2.7, yes. Yeah, I think I pressed 381. Okay. So VR2 is equal to 281 into sine 32. So just tell this number. I'm getting around 148, no?
148.8, sir.
Yes. 148. So decimals, no problem. Decimals, don't worry. Let the round figure 147 or 148. So that's around round figure. We will look at it. Now we got all the parameters from the trigonometric principles. Now let us find one by one. Okay, what is BW1? So we have found dBW1, we have found 492. VW2, we have found it to be 2.7. So the first parameter which we are supposed to find was VW1 was found to be 492 meters per second, and VW2 was found to be 2.7 meters per second. Okay, now second one, axial thrust. See, I told you that when I was discussing about in the energy equation or Euler equation, always in your flow direction, whether will be a radial force or axial force will be acting. Now this is an axial flow machine, so the axial force will be in the axial flow direction. So that's why m dot into Vf1 minus Vf2, difference of that flow velocities, that is 6 into 179 minus Vf2 is 148. So I'm getting around 181 newtons. So this is the axial force. Okay. How to find the work done? How to find the work done? Simple. So work done is given by, that is, power is nothing but mass flow rate into work done per unit mass. Already we have the formula, that is m dot into VW1 plus, I told that they are in opposite, VW1 plus VW2 into U. So m dot is 6 into, so VW1 is 492 plus 2.7 into your U is 235.6. So this will be so many kilowatts. So how much you are getting? So somewhere around 685 or something you have to get. Let's cross check. Around 650 plus.
Yes, sir. 690.
690, yeah? Okay, fine. 690 kilowatts. This is about the problem using the regular trick. See, this rule, see, the foremost thing is actually you should be able to know how to draw the velocity triangle. This velocity triangle, if I say why this velocity triangle, this is based on vector addition and vector subtraction. So from that principle, I draw the velocity triangle like I draw it. Now, let us look at the graphical solutions of it. Okay, graphical solution. So what I have taken some graph sheet actually. I have scanned it and I have put it over here. Okay. Some graph sheet I have put here. I've taken a copy of it. Okay. Let me try to use the graphical solution for the same thing. Graphical solution. So any problem, whatever we are trying to solve in the steam turbines, whether it is a two-stage or single-stage or multi-stage, whatever it may be, it can be solved both analytically using trigonometric principles or using your graphical method. So here one thing we have to do is actually we have to take some scale. Okay, what are the things we will do actually here? We will try to take it to some scale. Okay, what are the scale? Let's try to take 10 centimeter or 10 millimeter is equal to 50 meters per second. Or if you want, you can take 1 centimeter is equal to 50 meters per second. 1 centimeter is 50 meters per second. Now let us look at all the values. First value what we calculated, it was U. U is equal to 235.6. So how much it will come? So what you have to do? 235.6 divided by 50. 235.6 divided by 50. So I'm roughly getting around 4 points. So don't go for decimals, all the same, 4.7 centimeters. Now, if you come to the graph, actually, you have 10 divisions. Okay, 10 divisions is there. Each division you take it as 1 millimeter. The whole block is 1 centimeter or 10 millimeter. So you measure 4.7. Okay, you measure some 4.7. So let me go with it. So just I'm trying to show you. So it may be not, I'll just tell you the method. Okay, U is equal to 4.7 centimeter or 47 millimeters. Let me go with that material thing. It is 47 millimeter. You measure 47 millimeter here. You measure some 47 millimeters. From A, let me call this as point A to point B. You measure 47 millimeter on your graph sheet and try to draw a horizontal line. Then with point A, you take 20 degrees. Take your protractor and take 20 degrees. Okay, take 20 degrees and draw a line like this. And draw a line like this. 20 degrees and draw a line. So this is alpha 1, which is equal to 20 degrees, which is given there. Now, what is the value of V1? If you go and check here, the value of V1 is found to be 523.8. That is 524. Okay, 524. So divided by 50, if you do, it is 10.48 or 10.5 centimeters. Okay, 10.5 centimeters or 104 point or 105. So V is equal to 104.8 millimeters or 105 millimeters. Now with point A, you cut for 1 point. So you cut for 105 millimeters to get point C. So whatever the line you have taken, no, that AC, that particular line, in that cut 10.5 centimeters or 105 mm to get point E, point C. Now join B and C. Join B and C. So this will be your VR1 and this will be your V1. Okay. Now complete the triangle. So what you do? Draw your vertical line from here. Okay, till this point and draw an horizontal line, that is so that this is exactly 90 degrees. So you measure this particular thing. So you call this as point D. So you measure CD. Okay. So VR1 is equal to BC. Then VF1 is equal to CD. Then your VW1 is equal to AD is equal to AD. You measure this and multiply by 50. Say for example, I am getting VR1 as some maybe 6 centimeters or 60 mm. Roughly I am getting. I am just telling. So 50 mm or 55 mm I am getting. So 50 into 50 mm. So you multiply by that particular 50. Okay, it may be 5 centimeters or whatever it may be. Let me go with centimeters only. So because these graph sheets are made of centimeters, because still we are following the same thing. 150. So it may be of, so maybe some 5 centimeters or 6 centimeters, whatever it may be. So just try to do that and you will be getting that. Can multiply by, this is 4.7 centimeter. This is 110.48 centimeters. So you measure VR1, measure VF1 and measure VW1, multiply by 50, you'll be getting it. Okay. Now, once you get VR1, let me assume that, so VR1 is around roughly around 6 centimeters. I'm just taking. So 6 into 50. Okay. This is around 6 by the 30. 300 meters per second. VR1. So just so V1 is equal to, so 100 and how much? It is actually 392, no? Yeah. 523. V1 is 523. So here I'm getting 6 centimeters, around 300. So how much is your VF1? VF1 should be smaller. So VF1 maybe around 3.5 or something. So 3.8, roughly around 4 centimeters we are getting. 3.8 into 40, 50. So you just get it. So 3.8 or something you'll be getting into 50, around 190 meters per second. So what is your VW1? So VW1 is little bigger. So VW1 will be around 9 centimeters or something. 9 into 59 5 is 45, 450 meters. So I'm just telling the number, you have to do that. Now, what is your VR2? VR2 is equal to 0.9 times your VR1. That is 0.9 into 300. Okay, 0.9 into 300. So how much it is actually? 270 meters per second. What is VRC? 270 divided by 50 if I do, I am getting around 5.4 centimeters. I am getting around 5.4 centimeters. So VR2 is equal to 5.4 centimeters. So now measure this beta 1 angle. What is beta 2? Beta 2 is 3 degrees less than this. You measure this angle from here. So beta 1 is equal to angle DBC. You measure that, you may be getting roughly around 34 or 35 degrees. Because we are going by practical, it can't deviate by that much. Around 34 to 35 you will be getting it with 1 degree accuracy. 34 or 35 degrees you will be getting, or 36 also you may get it. 1 degree it may less, or 1 degree it may be on the lesser side, or 1 degree it may be on the higher side also. So both possibilities are there. So what is your beta 2? So beta 2 is equal to 35 minus 3, which is given in the numerical. So that is 32 degrees. I got it. So now what is VR2? It's 5.4 centimeters. So with an angle of 32 degrees, okay, this is 35. What I'm going to do with an angle of 32 degrees, this is my 32 degrees, VR2 with beta 2 and 5.4 centimeters, I will get the point E. So BE is equal to 5.4 centimeters. Now join, okay, now join your A to E. You join A to E, you will be getting your V2. Now close the triangle by drawing a vertical line from E and an horizontal line from A to get point F. So this will be your VW2 and this will be your VF2. Now measure VW2. So VW2 is equal to how much? Is it 0.5? Maybe is it some 0.2 centimeters or 3 centimeters? There is a 0.3 or 0.2, whatever it may be. So it may be 0.3. So maybe 5 mm or 0.5 mm, whatever, 0.5 centimeter, whatever it may be. I may be getting around 4 meters per second. Okay, I may be getting around 4. So it may be 0.1. So it's a very small number. So if you measure it, so I am getting around VW2 is equal to, so roughly around 4 meters per second. VF2, I am getting around 140. It's around maybe so many centimeters. So I'm getting around 2.3 or 2.5 centimeters. You measure it and you get it. All the values. See, what are the things which we need to find here? So we need to find VW1, we need to find VW2, we need to find beta 1, we need to find beta 2. And we have to find VF1, VF2, all the things. VR1, VR2. So every other value you can find it either analytically or graphically. So this is the procedure. You have to take the velocity of a particular scale, then draw it to some scale. You have to know the angles and you will be getting the unknown. You can easily find it. This is for a single stage. For multiple stage, you can go down with the same U. You can do that. We'll do that in next classes. In the further when we take up the two-stage problem. Any doubts in drawing the velocity triangle for this particular first stage using the graphical method?
No, sir.
Is it clear?
No, sir.
Yeah. So only
Yes,
thing
sir.
is actually you should take the scale properly. Scale properly and measure it on the graph. Measure it on the graph. Usually you will be having the centimeter scale graph. Centimeter. So you have to be very careful with that particular thing. Okay. So let's try to solve one more problem. A simple problem. A D-level steam turbines receive steam at a pressure of 10 bar. Dry and saturated. So it is not dry, actually it is dry. Dry and saturated. And exhaust at 1 bar. So there are 4 nozzles, each of which are inclined at 20 degrees to the plane of wall. So 4 nozzles are inclined. So nozzle angle means, nozzle exit angle means it is the alpha. The average peripheral velocity of the blades are 450 meters per second. That is your U. Peripheral velocity or blade velocity or vane velocity is your U. Calculate the blade angles for the blade. Assume that the inlet and outlet angles are the same. That is beta 1 and beta 2 are same. If the area of the throat at the nozzle is 0.24 meter square, calculate the power developed by the turbine. Okay. Now here, let's try to write the data and put the HS diagram as well as the velocity triangle. Both we try to put it. Solution. Okay. So it is the P1, which is the higher pressure, which is 10 bar, and the exit pressure, which is 1 bar, and they are given the number of nozzles. Let me call it as some N is equal to some force or I. We used to take it as I. So let me take this as some I is equal to 4, and alpha 1 is equal to 20 degrees, and U is equal to 450 meters per second. So we are supposed to find the blade angles beta 1 and beta 2, and the second thing is the power developed. So blade angles and the power developed. Okay, let's try to put the HS diagram. Let's try to put the HS diagram. HS diagram is something like this. So this is enthalpy. This is your entropy. Then I do have a dome, which will be going like this. And your constant pressure lines are going like this. They are diverging. They are diverging. And they are expected dry saturated. Okay, they are telling it's a dry saturated from 0.1. So if this is my 0.1, it is expanding like this isentropically and is coming to 0.2. Okay, now if I want to find enthalpy here, actually, if I draw an horizontal line, I'll be getting my H1. And if I draw a horizontal line at 2, I'll be getting my H2. So you have to go to your what is called as your Mollier chart or HS diagram, and we can easily get it. So P1 is 10 bar and P2 is equal to 1 bar. Okay. So now similarly, if I need a velocity triangles, I can do the same thing. So now let's go to the Mollier diagram. Okay, from the Mollier diagram, from the Mollier diagram corresponding to 10 bar dry saturated condition. Okay, 10 bar, that is on the saturation line. Okay, then H2, which is that the point cursory, it may be, see, this is maybe 2 dash, this may be, see, if I go with an actual one, it may be something like this. It may be something like this. So if it is an isentropic, I'll be getting 2 dash. If it is an actual, I'll be getting the particular thing. So both way it is possible. So both the way it is possible. Now I should able to find this enthalpy drop. So as they are not given whether it is actual or isentropic, let's go with the isentropic only. So H1 minus H2 or H1 minus H2 dash. If it is an actual one, I would have got this particular thing. They are not given anything, so it is H1. So from a Mollier diagram, you find this delta H, which is equal to H1 minus H2 dash. What is the value of H1? Can I find it?
2790.
2790. How much is H2 dash?
2450.
2450. So how much is the difference? Roughly around 300. Roughly around 340.
340.
340 kilojoules per kg. Suppose it would have been actual, I would have got it higher. Okay, because we know that because of the actual expansion, your enthalpy will be, so lower enthalpy instead of 2450, I would have got 2480 or something like that. Okay, I would have got higher this thing, then the difference would have, so I would have got a lesser expansion. That particular thing you should know. Now, from this, what is the velocity of the steam? So from the, because they are given the nozzles, so the velocity of the steam, that is V1. I should find V1. So V1 is equal to, already we have this formula 44.72 square root of your delta H. Just direct substitution, already we have done in the this thing. So it is 44.72 into square root of 340 into 10 to the power of 3, because I'm trying to convert from kilojoules to this thing. So I'm getting my V1. So roughly around 800 you're going to get. How much is the number? What about this?
Sir, I think when we were calculating velocity in the previous numerical.
Oh, fine. So 340. It's only 340, sir. Because 44 point is 2000, square root of 2000. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Square root of 2000.
In the previous numericals, we used to assume V1 0 and find out V2 using the same
No,
formula.
no, here no, V1, that is the different thing. Here, this is a V2 actually. What we are trying to pose is the find V2. Is what is the velocity at the exit?
Okay, okay.
Exit
So
only.
that is the V1 for the
Yes.
turbine.
This is the velocity of the steam. That is actually V2 from the nozzle, V1 to the your turbine wheel.
Rotor. Okay.
Rotor.
Yes, sir.
How much is the number? 800?
824, sir.
824. Okay, fine. 824 meters per second. So this is the condition what we have. So now, as I told, it is isentropic completely. I can easily tell that I can comment that there is no friction. No friction. This is a purely ideal problem. No friction. That is CB is equal to 1. That means my VR2 is equal to VR1. That's an assumption. So this one particular thing. Now, what will happen? Say what will happen this particular problem? This particular problem you have to be a bit careful actually. What is it actually? You should draw the velocity triangle. You should draw the velocity triangle and see that whether VW2, what we have assumed is in the opposite direction or it's in the same direction. If VW1 and VW2 are in the same direction, when you are finding the power, it should be VW1 minus VW2. If they are in opposite direction, it should be VW1 minus of minus, it is minus of minus, it is VW2 will be plus. So that you have to be very, very careful when you are drawing this velocity triangle. So now let us try to go with the same thing, whatever we assumed. So let's try to draw a simple velocity triangle. We are going to use the trigonometric principles and we'll try to do it. This is a velocity triangle, what we have. Now from the inlet velocity triangle, okay, from the inlet velocity triangle, from the inlet velocity triangle, what is actually cos alpha 1 is equal to VW1 by V1, or VW1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1. Cos alpha 1 is 20 degrees. We know that it is V1 is 824. Okay, 824 into cos 20. How much is it? 774.
774, sir.
774.
774.3 meters per second. So similarly, sine alpha 1, find your Vf1 by V1, or Vf1 is equal to V1 sine alpha 1, that is 824 into sine 20. So we will be getting my Vf1. Okay. How much is it? 281 or 281.82 or 282?
281.8.
Okay, fine. So this is what we got, VW1 and VW2. Now what is tan beta 1? Tan beta 1 is equal to Vf1. So similarly, tan beta 1, let's write to the side only. Why not waste the page? Okay, tan beta 1. Tan beta 1 is equal to Vf1 divided by Vw1 minus u, that is x. Or I can write beta 1 is equal to tan inverse of Vf1 divided by Vw1 minus u. Beta 1 is equal to, so tan inverse of Vf1 is 281.82 divided by 774.3 minus your u is 450. U is 450. So tell me the value of beta 1.
41 degrees.
How much? 41. Okay. So roughly around 41 degrees. Okay. Now they are given the problem, that is blade angles are equal. That is beta 1 and beta 2 both are similar. Beta 1 and beta 2 both are similar. Beta 1 is equal to beta 2. So that is the thing what we are trying to do in this particular problem. If I try to take it another way, beta 2 is that much or beta 1 is this much, then things would have changed. Now beta 1 is equal to beta 2. So with this, what we need to do? So we should go on from the exit velocity triangle. From the outlet velocity triangle. From the outlet velocity triangle, tan beta 2 is equal to, your opposite side is Vf2 divided by your, what is it actually? It is y, that is Vw2 plus your u. It's equal to Vw2 plus u. See, as I told, there is no friction. Vf1 is also equal to Vf2. Is also equal to 281.82 meters per second. So from here, I can find tan 41 is equal to Vf2 is 281.82 divided by Vw2, I don't know, plus your u. So u is 450. Now tell me the value of Vw2. If it comes out to be negative, I have to change the direction. If it comes out to be positive, so whatever the velocity triangle direction I have considered is right. How much are you getting?
Uh, 84.4, sir.
Minus or plus?
Plus.
Plus only, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Sure? Sure?
I think so. I'll check it again.
Because there is, see, what we have to do here, see, when you're doing this cross multiplication, it's something like this. What you have to do, Vw2 plus 450 is equal to 281.82 divided by tan 41, or Vw2 is equal to 281.82 divided by tan 41 minus 450.
Sir, minus 120.
Yeah,
Minus
That's why.
126.
That's why you have to be a bit careful here. You have to be very, very big careful here. It's bigger here. A little bit of mistake will fetch you because 281.82 divided by tan 50, it will be smaller number. Minus 450 if I do, it is 120 minus 125.8, no? How much
Yes,
you are
sir.
getting?
Minus 125.
Minus 120.6, sir.
125.8. Okay, fine. 8 or 6 and all because depend. Oh, okay. 8 meters per second. So what do you mean by it actually? This velocity triangle, what I have done, this particular whole portion, the velocity triangle will change. How my velocity triangle will look like in that case? Say my velocity triangle will be something like this. So if this is my U, this is my V1, this is my VR1. Okay, then what will happen? See, this particular velocity, this will come in this direction, and this will be your VR2, and this will be your V2. See, your VW2 will be in this direction because this is my VW1. It's going to change. Are you getting? So VW1, what we can write? Comment VW1 and VW2 are in the same direction. This we found out. See, you could have found out using the graphical method easily. There you would have got it directly, the velocity triangle, you would have got it. So beta 1, beta 2, we got it with 41 degrees. And VW1 and VW2 are in the same direction. Now, what is the formula to find the power? In your mass flow rate, they are not given. Mass flow rate, let's assume to be 1 kg per second. Okay, let's assume mass flow rate to be 1 kg per second. So the power you have to find. So power P is equal to mass flow rate into VW1 minus, okay, VW1 minus VW2 into U, because both are in the same direction. If they are in the different direction, it would have been VW1 minus of minus VW2. So this will be assuming my m dot is equal to 1 kg, 1 into your VW1 is found to be how much it was? 774.3 minus 125.8 into 450. So this is your power into 450 divided by 1000. So it is 291.8 kilowatts, 0.82 kilowatts. So this is how, the same thing what I want is you people to find it using graphical method. The same problem you try to solve using graphical method. Then you will understand, see, the